Nigeria cannot develop without the North. The development of Nigeria is largely dependent on Northern Nigeria. Develop the North, you develop the nation. And anything that affects the entire country. Northern Nigeria covers more than 78% of the land mass of the country, which represents huge potential for commercial farming. Northern Nigeria has huge solid mineral deposits ranging from gold, limestone, uranium, tin, oil, gas, columbite, and so many other solid mineral resources. Unfortunately, this region, despite the vast potential, is still ravaged by poverty, with more than 60% of the people living in the north live below the poverty line. And this contributed to making Nigeria the 5th country in poverty count. More than 80% of the counted 20 million children out of school are from northern Nigeria. Northern Nigeria ravaged by insecurity. In just 1 year, from 2023 to 2024, more than 600 people were killed. If you remember the massacre, the killings in Rwanda, there were just 800,000 people. But in 1 year in Nigeria, more than 600,000 people were killed, most of them from northern Nigeria. More than 2 million people were kidnapped in just 1 year. Most of this happened in northern Nigeria. With trillions of naira being spent to tackle insecurity, insecurity still lingers in northern Nigeria, which rendered thousands of large-scale farmlands unproductive. Also putting the country at the risk of food insecurity.
The real problem of Nigeria are northerners. Northerners, Fulani, Hausa are the problem of Nigeria. They don't want our Nigerian progress. If they are not the one in power, then nobody can do it. It's only them that they can do it.
Oh, what started Bokoharam? Everybody knows. It was started in Borno by the then Borno governor, Ali Sharif. He is still roaming the streets freely.
Welcome back to Local Journal, my people. If Nigeria they complain, abi if any region they complain, it no supposed to be the north at all. Because the problem when we dey inside this country, the people who carry us, the region where carry Nigeria come inside this problem. The people who bring this problem to Nigeria, na the north. Una never even start to dey complain. You dey complain about many things where they against the north. But una don't forget say now una be the architect of this problem where we get for inside this country because of una selfish interest. When I talk about insecurity, the insecurity for inside north, I be the insecurity for inside this country. No be the north na bring am because say una want teach the south, because say una don't want make southern president continue to the rule. Una leaders can't go break Bokoharam when they terrorize Nigeria till date because of say una want make una be the most popular people for inside Nigeria. Una they born and una they procreate anyhow without even thinking of how to fend for these children you are giving birth to. No be because say una want they use una population so that una go they dictate wetin they happen for inside Nigeria, so that anytime where decision making come, una go talk say una get the number, say una no they fear anybody. No be because of that reason una they give birth to children anyhow. And now one of the reasons why this country they suffer be that Nigeria they try to they go forward, but una they draw Nigeria go back. Una talk say Nigeria no fit develop without the north. This one a big capital line IAB. Every region they independent of themselves. Every region for inside Nigeria they get the power, they get the wherewithal to take care of themselves. Now the north now need Nigeria pass any region for inside this country. Now una still carry on about talk say out of the whole state where we get for inside Nigeria, say the top 10 GDP, say no northern state future, say the one where even manage come 10th, na even Niger state. Yet they talk say without the north, Nigeria no fit develop. Una they try everything we una fit do, we could return us to stone age with una religious intolerance, born to rule mentality, self-righteousness and self-centeredness. No be because of this tax reform bill now una won't buy on ourselves. Una they complain bitterly as if say na only northern states na even go the tax. No be the whole federation na even go the tax. The only thing where they be say everybody go collect collect percentage depending on the tax where they collect from their state. No be waiting them talk with that, but una they threaten the government because say e no favor una, because say una no they attract investors, because say una don't use insecurity finish una region and no investor won't come there again. No be because of that reason now una they fear for una lives. So if una they talk say una they very important in the scheme of things, why una come dey fear? Fine, I know say una get arable land and una get plenty things una fit develop una self, but the thing where they there be say how many governors they for inside north where they think outside the box when won't bring investors come on a state. Before, north used to be one of the most peaceful regions where we get for inside Nigeria, but because of una selfish interest, una turn the whole region to Afghanistan. All of una leaders now una they threaten the Yoruba people and telling me because of this tax reform bill. But the truth where they be say una people know the truth, and some they even talk the truth. Them no say now una be the problem of this country. Anytime when we say maybe una they rule Nigeria again, now problem una one they always they cause. Maybe una people still talk say now una they sponsor Bokoharam. Una know all these truths, but una no fit hold una leaders accountable. The thing where they be say it is better everybody go their separate ways, because the way where these people they take carry this whole thing go by, nobody understand again. This self-centeredness and this entitlement mentality, this parasitic mentality where we say una get, where we say anything where una want get time by force. It no fit happen like that. No be stone age we dey. Nigeria don't wise past that time. It better make we go our separate ways, or make we go back to regional government where everybody go they control their own resources. No be say monkey go they walk, baboon they shop. No be say they will call the raw Peter the people. Una too they overrate una self and una depend on other region for survival. Una better drop the shoulder pad where they on top una shoulder. Una better come down from una high horse, because as it be, no region at all. I say no region depend on una at all. The only thing one feel brag say una they carry the come Nigeria now agriculture, and that one everybody feel farm. No be say una don't even get mineral resources, so una they use sense they keep una own. Thank God say no be only me they talk am. Even una people they complain on top una head based on how una want destabilize government, based on how una they always take complaint, and una actions they always they anti-government. Anytime when we say no be northern and I be the president, make me even listen to some of the things where this northerners talk and they threat where some of them they threaten Tinubu. But before we do that one, if today that be the first time when you visit our channel, make you like, make you share, and make you subscribe to our channel. So make we watch the video.
I don't mean to be rude. I don't want to be rude to anybody, and I don't want to disrespect anybody, and I don't want to insult anybody. What I'm saying is that is the real truth. The real truth, the real problem of Nigeria, are northerners. Northerners, Fulani, Hausa are the problem of Nigeria. They don't want our Nigerian progress. If they are not the one in power, then nobody can do it. It's only them that can do it. If you say you deprive Igbo people from having what is supposed to be theirs, allow them to go for their Biafra. If you say Yoruba people are not competent, they cannot rule Nigeria, allow them to go. Then we, the Northerners, should just stay and rule ourselves. If we kill ourselves, that's our business. You cannot say no, because Igbos, you think Igbos are thieves, Igbos are wicked, Igbos are this, they are that, they are this. There is no way that there's not the good, the bad, and the ugly. So if you cannot help the Igbos, allow them to go. If you cannot carry Yorubas, if you don't want them to rule you, allow them to go. Then we, the Northerners, will rule ourselves. If it's going to be better. We are one Nigeria, so we want the best for Nigeria. So we should look at where we are going wrong so that we can perfect it.
Oh, what started Boko Haram? Everybody knows. It was started in Borno by the then Borno governor, Ali Sharif. He is still roaming the streets freely. Yes. When Yusuf was caught alive, who created it? The ECOMOG. Who created the ECOMOG? We have to look at the root cause in order to find a solution. The root cause of that problem, as we know it today, is Ali Sharif. He used them for his own political machinery. He armed them as his political thugs. He even made one of them a commissioner. But they became too powerful. And they had no option but to try an elimination, which was not possible, and which we are all paying for.
We cannot vote Tinubu for 2027 from the north. We cannot. It's either we die We cannot vote hungry. Softness and the only appointment where it is appointing Yorubas from Lagos, not from Ogun, not from Ondo. Then we go voting for what? This person who is taking one side. Okay, why they not arrest Sunday Ago? He want a protest in London. Tinubu doesn't make the arresting. But they are sending security to arrest Bello Bodejo, arrest Kanu. People who are standing for their people, they want to arrest them because this one is a Fulani, this one is an Igbo one. The Sunday Ago is patrolling, even is making a party yesterday. He threw a party in Ibadan. He was not arrested. Somebody is preaching for Adudua. Then you want us to vote again. Then when we vote for 2027, what will come out? Then what we are afraid, and then this person is the same person want to change vehicle every year. The president every year will change vehicle. Food alone for presidency is 49.6 trillion for food, billion for food alone for president. Then he want to change vehicle every year. Do you come to change a vehicle, or you come for function, or you come to work for Nigeria? Mr. President, I campaign with you. You know me, I know you. You say we should give you Nigeria. There's a new hope. Where is the new hope? All you tell us is not true. And you say you suspend all your activities in Lagos. Okay, you suspend the activities because people die on the food. What do you send the food for them to celebrate the Christmas? You have no activities there in Lagos. You just go there to rest. What's your activities? You say just a pity, Your Excellency. You don't have any activities there. You go there to rest. And people die for hunger because they want to get the food. Do you send the food for those people so that a brother can go for Christmas? No. You say suspend the activities. That cannot solve the solution. We expect you to send like 100 or 300 trailers to that area so that people can go for Christmas everywhere in Nigeria because of this shameful something that happened, which the world have seen it. Because it is under Vera already. President will leave. They say there's no vacancy in Asorok for 2027. Fine. You have only one vote. I have one vote. So you can't tell us whom to vote or whom not to vote. With this hungry, people are dying for hungry every day. 6,668 people have died in Hungary. And you say till 2031. Okay? Now only you go vote that. You are the only person that is going to vote that president for 2031. But for 2027, we are taking Oga out from the villa. That one is obvious. There is nobody can subsidize this hungry. And nobody, okay, we want you to buy cough and carry go to church. And then buy a rope for Muslims, distribute to each mosque, because people will die before that to that. Maybe you are the only person who remain. With this hungry, people cannot feed 1 square meal. They cannot buy fuel. They cannot enter motor. No security. No road. No. That is a wrong channel of communication. And I respect you, as I know you, as a governor for 8 years, and you are from the north. This thing you make, you clear my mind that you are not with us. You are on your own. And that vote can never work. We are going to vote him out. We will choose whom we need to vote, who can be able to clear security, food, where masses can go to market, where we can pay our school children, and we move to anywhere we want for transport. So nobody can force us for anything. No intimidation. You can't intimidate us. No way. Nobody can intimidate us. We are free in Nigeria and we are citizens. I don't care anybody, but I can respect you. But with the masses in Nigeria, I am ready to fight you, whomever you are. Because we are suffering, because you are secretary to the government, you don't know how people are feeding. That is why you are saying this thing. Not be only 213 that continue. Is a monarch. That is the end of the show is 2027. Before 12 o'clock.
Those who oppose to tax reform bills now seeking speedy passage. Mr. Speaker, I am one of the first people that oppose this vehemently. Mr. Speaker, this is an injurious to me and injurious to my people, to my religion, and also to my region where I came from.
More than half of Nigerians are from the northern Nigeria. Northern Nigeria's population is about 130 million people, which is more than the population of some 25 countries. The combined population of 25 countries, which means northern Nigeria is more populous than some 25 countries in the world. Northern Nigeria contributes more than 70% of Nigeria's grains, millet, rice, maize, sorghum, more than 70% of Nigeria's grains are produced in northern Nigeria, which makes the northern Nigeria the agricultural hub for the country. And more than 90% of Nigeria's livestock are produced in the north, with vast stretches of arable land. Northern Nigeria covers more than 78% of the land mass of the country, which represents huge potential for commercial farming. Northern Nigeria has huge solid mineral deposits ranging from gold, limestone, uranium, tin, oil, gas, columbite, and so many other solid mineral resources. Unfortunately, this region, despite the vast potential, is still ravaged by poverty, with more than 60% of the people living in the north live below the poverty line. And this contributed to making Nigeria the 5th country in poverty count. More than 80% of the counted 20 million children out of school are from northern Nigeria. Northern Nigeria ravaged by insecurity. In just 1 year, from 2023 to 2024, more than 600 people were killed. If you remember the massacre, the killings in Rwanda, there were just 800,000 people. But in 1 year in Nigeria, more than 600,000 people were killed, most of them from northern Nigeria. More than 2 million people were kidnapped in just 1 year. Most of this happened in northern Nigeria. With trillions of naira being spent to tackle insecurity, insecurity still lingers in northern Nigeria, which rendered thousands of large-scale farmlands unproductive. Also putting the country at the risk of food insecurity. When it comes to birth rate, Nigeria is the 5th country in the world in terms of birth rate, and largely contributed by northern Nigeria, which has an average birth rate of 5 children per woman. In terms of child street begging, Nigeria is 2nd after India, largely contributed by northern Nigerian syndrome of child street begging. If you look at the count of states, the ranking of Nigerian states in terms of GDP contribution, the top 9 states, none of them is from the north. You talk about Lagos, Rivers, Akwa Ibom, Imo states, Delta states, Anambra states, Ondo, Ogun, and Bayelsa. None of them is from northern Nigeria. The closest state that came to the top is Niger State, that came the 10th in terms of GDP contribution, which means majority of the GDP in Nigeria is not produced in northern Nigeria. What if northern Nigeria is a country? What is the GDP count of northern Nigeria? Most of the state governments heavily rely on the Federation Account Allocation Committee funds, which become their single lifeline. Reduce that, it affects their productivity and their development. And this represents huge challenge and risk to the development of the region. And because of the growing population, this little resources is overstretched and is becoming inadequate. With our agriculture being under-mechanized, and access to finance is limited, especially due to our culture, and our faith, which has been alluded earlier on, that due to interest rates, or rather interest, northern Nigerians are excluded financially. Financial exclusion is one of the major hindrances to even agricultural development, because as far as I am concerned too, interest is haram. And there is no justification for you to collect interest in the name of doing agriculture. So we should not be only limited to Jaiz Bank when it comes to funding businesses. We should have banks like the Bank of Industry, Bank of Agriculture, and all these development banks providing free interest grants or loans. Because we are people of religion. And if there is no religious inclusivity in our policies, in our system, in our agencies, then Nigeria, northern Nigeria, will always be left behind. Nigeria cannot develop without the north. The development of Nigeria is largely dependent on northern Nigeria. Develop the north, you develop the nation. And anything that affects it, affects the entire country.